Hi, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio. I hope you're well, and if you have some time today, I would love if you journal with me. Today I'm going to play with some book spine poetry and some splashes of color. So I hope you grab whatever supplies you have and a cup of whatever you enjoy and can journal too. This is one of those days where I just feel like putting things on the page. I started out with some book spine poetry. I'll tell you a little more about that in a couple minutes. And last week I did this spread with a doily butterfly. I did it off camera. And I've added a new bullet journal to my collection. So I'm going to do just a moment of catch up on that. Now, I am not a big planner person. I'm very minimalist. And I bought this adorable bird planner. I really love the images in it, but it just didn't seem to be working for me. I don't know if it was the size. I'm not quite sure. So I picked up a bullet journal and I love the images in the little planner. So I'm thinking about repurposing them in this Hobonichi Day Free, which is my current journal. And I also do have a junk journal. So we'll see where I put them. So that's a little bit of an update. And moving on to today's session, I have played with book spine poetry. If you don't know what that is, it's taking a bunch of books from your bookshelves and lining up the titles and trying to create a poem. It's a lot of fun, and April is poetry month, so I took a pic of that and got that in. And then, as usual, for my weekly spreads, I like to gather a bunch of stickers or stamps, things I might think about using. So I grabbed these spring ones I got those recently at the Dollar Tree, and I might use those in today's session too. So my poem for Poetry Month is on the right-hand side and has all these fun colors. And I did decide to pull one of those beautiful birds from that planner that I'm going to repurpose and thought that would look really nice on the left-hand side. I also grabbed some mop-up paper, paper towels actually, from some art bleeding tissue paper, a project I did for the Paper Bag Journal collab project, a few videos ago. Well, actually, it might have been the last video ago, I think. And so if you want to check that out in terms of working with the bleeding art tissue paper, I'll show you what it is in a minute. But this is just the paper towels. And look how pretty they come out. Just cleaning up your mess. So I decided to add that as a background today too. So I'm just playing with this on the page, figuring out what my background spread might be. I have a scrap or two of fabric. I really like that one because of the poem. By the way, the poem, I'm not sure if it's totally clear, it's Planet Earth is Blue, Brave, A Life Electric, Dream Street, Robomotion, Seeds Move, Out of Wonder. So again, check out your bookcase. You never know if you want to try that. If you're having a poetry moment, it's one fun way to include poetry in your journal. Now, the top left strip, I cut off the book spine poetry because it wouldn't have fit on the page, and I'm thinking I might use that to like washi tape. So this is a morning on April 2nd where I am simply playing along and not sure what I want to do. So I'm gonna take my time. I hope you are too. Enjoy my cup of coffee and come back after some gluing. There we go. So I have decided to glue down the bird image, and I use the bit of scrap from the book spine poetry on the left-hand side instead. I'm thinking about sort of framing this page. Not sure how much writing I can do on it if if I'll actually be able to write on that paper towel or not. Oh yeah, and here's the Bleeding Art tissue paper. I recommend if you use it, it's so fun, but it is so messy. Get a glove. It's great on watercolor paper. And now I'm thinking about adding some more fun supplies. I have this travel size koi watercolor set that it's really, well, it's travel size. It's portable, it's fun to take with you. And I'm gonna just play with splashes of color, get more of a background. I think today's journal session is more about the visuals and less about the writing. So how is your journaling going? How are you? Are you finding that, well, if you are in the season of spring, that you are opting for more color? I tend to use a lot of color, especially in this Hobonichi Day Free, which again, the brand doesn't matter, any grid journal, even a bullet journal, whatever you use, as long as the paper will take some level of paint, it's always fun to play with splashes of color. And for my journaling practice, the joy of it for me, one of them really is playing with supplies, seeing and experimenting with, what's the next thing? What do I want to try? Or what do I want to try in a new way? And more coffee too. All right, I'm thinking that this background is now moving in a more finished direction. I'm feeling more of the journal flow. So what I want to do is come in a little bit more with the blue and get a background on the number 2. So again, I like to do kind of a couple pages a week in this journal. Sometimes I'll do 3 or 4 pages. So this is what I call my week in review, and it is April 2nd. I'm hoping to actually post this mid-morning on April 2nd. That's the goal. And if you're familiar with watercolors, they do dry lighter. And if you're familiar with me, I have trouble with patience in letting things dry, so I'm going to try my best. So this is really bold right now, but it will dry lighter. And also, again, you can mop things up a little bit with paper towels if you want to tone things down. All right, let that dry. I was patient. And I came back in with some washi tape. And I'm feeling the dots on this strip of cloth. I'm using a little Fabri-Tac and also on the washi tape. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the raindrops. I may be waxing a little extra poetic on that, or not sure. But I like the dots. And again, I feel like I want to frame that left-hand side page because I might not get writing on that one. I'm not sure. And now I'm using a little mix of the watercolor again, since the number 2 has dried, to go in, and I want to make that look more like not pure blue, more earthy colors. So the sea and land and all of that. Trying to carefully outline there. When it's dry, I likely will go over it with a permanent marker to sort of clean up the edges. Probably a zebra brush pen, or I like to use microns a lot. All right, I think we will try to get some writing in. I'm going to put my writing board in, but if you notice, the top isn't too dry. No, it isn't. So I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to journal a little bit under the poem. This was a busy work week, but I do feel good. There were 2 projects I really wanted to complete, and I did. So check those off the list. All right, and that number 2 is still a bit wet. So I'm going to swatch out the paper towel with the zebra brush pen. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not convinced that I should write on it. So I'm gonna let that be. I'll leave just the collage there for now. And let the date dry. So I hope you're enjoying your journaling. Here is a close-up after I let it dry. Put in April is National Poetry Month and outline that. Thank you to all subscribers. I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for watching.